Hello and welcome. We are doing PYQs of set theory and Venn diagram. We were solving 3 set problems and we solved a few problems already. Let's talk about this next case. Yes, this case. It says out of 120 musicians in a club. So we are having how many members? 120 members, which means the value of totality over here is 120. So totality is represented with the help of a square. Next is 5% can play all the 3 instruments: guitar, violin and flute. So there is one set of people who can play guitar, one more set of people who can play violin, and one more set of people who can play flute. And it is also given to us that 5% can play all the 3 instruments. So find out 5% of 120. What is 5% of 120? If you solve this, 10% of 120 is 12. So 5% should be half of 12, which is 6. Now, in this entire diagram, this central portion, the value this central portion will represent is 6, because this central portion is under guitar also, under violin also, and under flute also. Okay, now the next. It so happens that number of musicians who can play any 2 and only 2 of the above instruments is 30. We will consider this statement later on. Let's read the remaining part of the question. The number of musicians who can play guitar alone is 40. Guitar alone meaningly this part, this area of guitar which is with guitar only. The area which is with guitar only, so this area, guitar alone. Okay. And the number of musicians who can play guitar alone is 40. Then what is the number of those who can play violin alone or flute alone? So violin alone and flute alone. So in this graph or in this Venn diagram, a lot of reasons are missing. So let's consider the values. Let's say this reason which belongs to only guitar and violin, which belongs to this upper part of the petal, which belongs to only guitar and violin is A. This part B is B, which belongs to only guitar and flute, this part, if we pay attention to this petal. Okay, and in the remaining petal, if you talk about this petal, so one part of this petal is 6, so let's say another part of this petal is C. So what does the C indicates over here? C indicates total number of people who can play violin and flute only. Okay, now this remaining part of violin, let's say the value of this remaining part of violin is X, and this remaining part of flute is Y. So X over here represent those people who can play violin only, and Y over here represent those people who can play flute only. Now you can see the value of the reason which is outside these 3 circles is not given in the question, and in the options also we have absolute value, which means in this particular case the reason which lie outside these circle, that is none reason, its value is 0. If its value is not 0, then the answer of this question should be cannot be determined. Since in the option we do not have such option, so that is why it is only possible when the reason, the value of the reason which is outside these 3 circles is 0. Now, if I write down all these values, so this guitar only which is 40 plus A plus B plus C plus X plus Y plus 6, and this none part is 0. If I add all these values, this will give me the total number of people in the in the club, and it should come, this whole thing should be equals to what, 120. Now in this case, now what does this A plus B plus C indicates? A plus B plus C talks about exact 2. Meaningly, A plus B plus C will talk about those number of musicians who can play exactly 2 instruments at a time. This can be written in one more language, and that is, this A plus B plus C give me the count of those musicians who can play any 2 and only two of the above instruments. So exact 2 and any 2 and only 2 of the above instrument is one and same thing. So as per this graph, or as per this question, see, number of musicians who can play any 2 and only 2, it is given to us, which is 30. So value of A plus B plus C, it is given to us, which is 30. Okay? So in this equation, 40 plus this A plus B plus C is 30, plus this X plus Y plus 6 plus 0 is equals to 120. Now if you solve this, 40 plus 30 is 70, 70 plus 6 is 76, right? And 76 and 24 is 100, so it comes out to be equal to, from here X plus Y comes out to be equal to 44. Please make a note of it, hurry up. Now see, what does X indicating here? X talks about those musicians who can play violin only. What about Y here? Y talks about those musicians who can play flute only. And in the question, we were looking for the count of those people who can play violin alone or flute alone. That should be what? It should be 44 here. I hope guys this is clear to everybody. So X plus Y represent violin alone and flute alone here. Hence the answer is 44, option B. Kindly make a note of it, hurry up. Let's move on to the next question now. Next is our new theme, and this is abstract cases under set theory and Venn diagram. Now, case number 1. See, it says the number of person who can read magazine X only is thrice the number of person who can read magazine Y. The number of person who can read magazine Y only is thrice the number of person who can read magazine X. Then which of the following conclusions can be drawn? Now, so in this case, we are talking about only 2 sets. One set representing those people who can read magazine X, and second set representing those people who can read magazine Y. So we will draw 2 circles. First circle representing number of people who reads magazine X, second circle representing number of people who read magazine Y. Now it is also given to us that number of people who read X only. Let's say number of people who read X only is this part of the circle of X. This part. And only is thrice the number of person who can read magazine Y. So value of this part is given as per examiner. Value of this part is, it is thrice the number of person who can read magazine Y. So total number of person who can read magazine Y is Y only. So reason, the value of this reason is 3Y. The reason which belongs to X only, this value is what? 3Y. Next, the number of person who read magazine Y only is thrice the number of person who can read magazine X. So this line indicates this part of circle of Y. The value of this part of circle of Y is what? It is thrice the number of, person who can read magazine X. So value of this part is what? 3X. Okay. Now then, which of the following conclusions can be drawn? Let's talk about this. Number of person who read both magazine is twice the number of person who read only magazine X. Now, let's consider this statement 1. The number of person who read both the magazine is twice the number of person who read only magazine X. In this case, we don't know how many people are there in the society. First thing, we don't know how many people are there in the society. Done. And secondly, if we try to assume it, let's say this value is K here. This central region is K here. So if this central region is K, so value of K should be X minus 3y. Value of K should be X minus 3y, because the entire circle of X is this is entire circle of X. Total number of people who read magazine X is X, so value of K can be X minus 3y. And if we pay attention to this circle Y, so value of K from there can be equal to what? It can be equal to value of K can be equal to Y minus 3x. Okay, now both of the left hand side of this equation is same, so X minus 3y should equal to Y minus 3x. Solving it further, what we can get? See, it becomes 4x equal to 4y, which means X is equals to Y, which means X is equals to what? Y. Now if X and Y both are equal, so let's say now let me replace. Let's say X is 3. As per this, what we are getting, X and Y both are equal, so let's say X is 3 and Y is 3 also. As per the given condition, only X should be thrice of Y. Only X should be thrice of Y. So this part should be thrice of Y, which means 9. This part should be 9. Now try to thought about it. Try to think about it. The entire circle of X has value 3. Then how is it possible that a part of it is equals to 9? Not possible. So in this question, there was some logical error. In this question, there was some error from the examiner side. So in UPSC, they haven't provided the key for this question. They haven't provided any answer for this question because this question was wrongly framed. The reason is this. Okay, so please make a note of it if you want to. Let's move on to the next question. It says in a group of 120 persons, so total number of people are 120, and out of 120, 80 are Indians. 80 people are Indians, so definitely remaining 40 should be foreigners. Further, 70% in the group can speak English. Out of 120, 70 people can speak English. So obviously, the remaining 50 can speak any other language. Now, the number of Indians who can speak English. See, suppose if all the 40 foreigners can speak English, all the 40 foreigners can speak English, right? So there are, see, how many people can speak English? 70 people can speak English, and out of 70, I am assuming the 40 people, out of 70, 40 people are foreigners and they all can speak English. So 30 could be the minimum number of, 30 could be the minimum number of Indians who can speak English. Okay, minimum number of Indians who can speak English, right? Similarly, if it is like all, see, these 70 people who speak English, they all are Indians. It might possible because number of Indians are more than 70. So if all these 70 people, these all 70 English speaking people are Indian, then I can say at max 70 Indian can speak English. At max 70 people can speak English. So minimum number of Indians who can speak English is 30, maximum number of Indian who can speak English is 70. Why 70 is okay here? Because total number of Indians are 80, and it might possible that and 70 people out of 80, 70 people can speak English. So answer of this question should be 30 or more. Number of Indian who can speak English is 30 or more. Minimum can be 30 and maximum can be 70. Okay, I hope guys this is clear to everybody. So this is all from my side for this video. Thank you so much.